I'm back. Did you expect it? Today's subject class is to be on, growing as a person. It's something that I've worked on myself for a very long time. I used to be a completely different person in like fifth grade, and you'd expect that. But some people don't change. Some people stay the same person for a very long period of time and just never improve on themselves. Back in like fifth grade, I tried so hard to be like everybody else, and I wasn't really my own person. And as a fifth grader, you'd probably expect that, you try to be the most popular and most loved from everybody. And as you get older, you realize that that doesn't really matter. Like social status is nothing in the real world. Once you like graduate high school, you're not going to know anybody. All of your friends are gone. Everybody in high school disappears. And the social status that you once held in high school is gone. It equates to nothing. And people try to fit in so hard that it ends up taking over them, and they end up not knowing who they are and confused and feeling stuck. And I think the biggest thing you can do is always trying to improve on yourself. I think that's a very attractive feature that a lot of people will kind of pick up on and like about you. You've become real. You've become the person that you wanted to be. And when you're trying to be somebody else, then you're just like stuck in a place where you don't know who you are. Who am I? Am I the popular kid from school, or am I just the loser kids that sit at the table alone? No offense to those kids. You're stuck in a place where you don't know where you are in life. And then to realize that everyone else is in the same place is even harder. Because newsflash, nobody knows who they are at any point. Nobody. I mean, it's a very hard concept to grasp. And it takes a very strong person and a very wise person to actually come to the understanding of who they truly are on the inside. It takes a lot out of a person to say, I am me. And I am proud of that. And I am happy for that. And I am not going to let anybody else's actions influence my personality and who I am on the inside. Because who you are on the inside isn't always what people show on the outside. Take P. Diddy, for example. No, that's just a joke. But seriously, people have this whole facade. Lots of high schoolers, most high schoolers, honestly, even myself. Although my facade is more like a part of me that just comes out at school, and then other parts of me come out outside of school and around different person, but it is always me. Like I am being true, but that's just like the part of me, the different personality that I have at that point. But it is me, truly. But other people, they have this entire personality just for high school and just for certain people, for people to think of them a certain way. And I think that's a very draining thing to do. And I think that's why a lot of teenagers nowadays are depressed and lost and feel like there's nobody around them that knows them. It's because nobody does. You've led people to believe you're this person, and that's not you. That's the person you fake to be is nothing who you are. Because the person that you are, they aren't popular. And you know what? The person that the popular kid is, that's not them either. They faked their way to get there. Fake it till you make it. And once you make it, you're depressed and sad and all alone. At what point does faking it start to cost you? At what point does making it mean you've lost everything to get nothing? Faking it to be popular, you're losing yourself in that. And you're getting nothing in return because it equates to nothing but stupid high school social status. Who cares what a bunch of 16-year-olds think about you? When you're 30, you're not going to care what 16-year-old cares about you. So why care about it now? Focus on yourself, find yourself, and build on that and start working on yourself. What do you actually like to do? What if you're actually not into basketball? What if you're not actually into baseball? What if you're not actually into volleyball, lacrosse, all these sports that make you cool because you play them? Football. I mean, anything. Maybe you're not into video games. Maybe you're not into the book club. Maybe you're not into the things that your popular friends like. And that's okay because that's just who you are and you're going to like something different. I like computers. I like building computers. I built my own computer. None of my friends like that, but that's okay because I'm myself and I can enjoy something by myself and it not be based around what everybody else likes and thinks about that. Nobody thinks computers are cool like that. They're just gonna call me a nerd and be like, oh my God, you're such a freaking geek. Yeah, you know what? I'm a computer geek. And that's who I am. I'm a computer geek at heart. I love building things. I love putting things together. I loved Legos as a kid, you know? I've always loved exercising. You know, me and my mom used to do workout videos together. You know, the DVDs that they used to have for workouts? Yeah, I used to join my mom in that. And that's always been a part of me. And that's who I truly am deep down inside is a boy who's exercising with his mom. And it sounds weird, but that's who I am. And that's why I love exercising so much is because that deep down memory is so dear to me that that's the part of me that I am. And your experiences make you who you are. And you may put that off and you may not want to face your feelings of what an experience does to you, but then you're just not going to face who you are. You know, facing traumatic experiences that happen to you is you. And you not facing that and putting it off to the side and putting it in the back of your brain is just hiding who you are from yourself. And being able to face those traumas, face your fears, face all of those things that you pent up on your inside on that cause you anxiety at night before you sleep. You know, the feelings that you hide away by smoking. At some point, you're going to have to face that. And the sooner you do it, the sooner you will be content with yourself. And a lot of high schoolers right now, and not even just high schoolers, but 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds, hell, 40-year-olds, they drink their problems away and they smoke their problems away. And they're stuck in a place where they don't know who they are anymore. And they've turned themselves into a person that they don't know who they are anymore. They don't know what they've become, what they've made themselves. And all because they didn't want to face something that happened to them. And I get it. You know what? It's hard coming to terms with some things. I mean, it's hard, and I'm going to bring it up again. Facing the fact that I'm over my ex and facing the fact that I was cheated and that I was hurt. But I'm accepting that and then learning from it. What shouldn't I do again? What should I look for in women? What are the red flags? What can I do to make them not like that? What did I do wrong to make them cheat? What did I do to make them not love me anymore? What did I do that was so wrong that I can perfect on myself so that the next time I try it again with somebody, that same thing doesn't happen? And you know what? Sometimes it isn't your fault, and sometimes it is. And differentiating that is really hard because it's really easy to blame everyone else for something, but it's also really easy to blame yourself for everything. And that's something that I see a lot in people is a lot of the time they will go through something and be like, I must have done something wrong. Why did my father treat me so poorly? Why did my mother treat me so poorly? Why do the people in my life leave? Why do people walk all over me? Why do people not like me? And you know what? Sometimes that's not your fault. Sometimes people just suck. Sometimes people just have problems and they put it on you. And that in no way is your fault. And sometimes you have to look at things. For example, I'm going to talk about my past with my father. My father, growing up, I haven't seen him since I was 5 years old. My biological father. And when I was younger, he was huge into drugs. He had so many demons on the inside that he was fighting and repressing. And he would do so many drugs. And he got my mother into that. And he would frequently beat me and my mother. And he wasn't really around. I would try and see him every Thursday. And most Thursdays he wouldn't show up. He'd say he'd be there and then never show up. And when I was a kid, I used to cry and be like, why doesn't my daddy love me? As if I did something, as if I did something to make my father not love me. And the truth is that it wasn't that he didn't love me. It's that the drugs and the things that he was repressing on the inside made him unable to love. And he started something that he couldn't finish. He's had so many kids. He cheated on my mother with 20 other women, all of which being her friends and next door neighbors and people she got baby clothes from. You know, he took me on drug deals where I could have easily been killed if he was short on money. And coming to accept that that wasn't my fault took me a long time because it wasn't that I made my father not love me. but it's that he just couldn't. And it's not even his fault. He just didn't know how to handle that. And what he did was terrible and it was wrong. And I know deep down he knows, but the person on the outside is a monster and the person that he's made is a monster. And everyone's got a good person on the inside, but sometimes we just let the demons take control. And I'm not talking about like just demons that come into your body. We all have demons. There's always that voice in the back of your head, like, do that, do this, do everything. Revenge is a demon, wanting to smoke weed. That's a demon inside of your head trying to tell you, saying that you need it. Nicotine, tobacco, which is basically like, I don't know the difference, but I think they're the same. Just things, the voices in your head, the things that make you addicted, they're demons trying to control you, because when you are high or when you are buzzed, you are not you. You are only you when you are sober and thinking straight and not actually just like mentally ill. And it's so easy being mentally ill. I mean, so many people are. And it's kind of crazy and really sad to see, because a lot of my friends don't love themselves and they don't know who they are, and they put on this persona and they're so two-faced and everyone's just not straightforward anymore. What happened to being honest? What happened to telling the truth? What did our parents teach us anything? If there's one thing my parents taught me, was be honest and you won't get spanked. You won't get your ass beat. If you're just honest, people will respect you. They may not like what you're saying, but they at least can appreciate the fact that you're being straight up with them and not being fake like everyone else, because it is 1 in a million to find a person that is just straight up and honest with you, that will just tell you anything that's on their mind. If you're bad at something, they'll tell you. If they don't like something that you did, they'll tell you. If they like something you did, they'll tell you. And you can take it at face value and not have to think about it anymore. Instead of being like, well, really, did they really like that? Did they really mean when they said that? And it's like, I wish I could just believe what people say, and I can't. There's only a few people that I can take their words at face value, and that's 2 people. Two people out of hundreds of people that I know. And it's like, nowadays, being honest is the new lying. You can't be honest with anybody without being fucked over. Seriously. Tell a lie in your praise. Tell the truth and everybody hates you. It's crazy. It's like, I'll try and be honest with people and nobody just takes my word. And there'll just be one lie and everybody's just like, yep, that's true. It's like, how can you take a lie for a truth, but a truth as a lie? How does this work? Just because my social status? Seriously. It's like, you'll find out. You'll realize one day. Everyone around you's fake. Everyone. And it's not your fault. Hell, even you might be fake. But improving yourself on that and becoming the truest person that you can be means so much to other people and yourself. I am so true and honest, and I try to be honest with everything, and I try to be an open book, and I get hated on it for it. And you know what? I don't care. I don't care. I don't let it phase me. I used to. I used to care so much what people thought. But at the end of the day, I know everybody's insecure. I know everyone's got that thing that they hate about themselves. And you know what? That one thing that they might hate about themselves is themselves. Because of the personality that they've made, they hate who that is. They hate who they put on. And it's just become second nature to everybody. Just act a certain way around everybody and you'll be cool. And it's like, it doesn't matter if you're cool or not, because the cool people are fake. You're not going to have a real friend. The real friends are the fucking lame people, honestly. The people who don't go to party, the people who are always sober. And I'm not just saying that because I'm just sober. All of the people that I know that are just so, like, when they're sober, they're chill. When they're not sober and high or drunk, I see that they're just douchebags. They're just assholes. They're just fucking themselves up and they're gonna regret it later because they want a temporary solution for problems that need a fix. Suicide is a permanent solution to temporary problems. And being drunk or high is a distraction from temporary problems that you can't face, because nothing's permanent. Nothing is permanent. You can die tomorrow, and if you die tomorrow, will you be happy with the person that you are? Do you think that you spent the time on the earth good or poorly? Did you do a good job on working on yourself, or did you just push all of your problems aside until you just couldn't handle it, until you just couldn't stop thinking and having anxiety when you lay down. The only way to get rid of the problems is to face them and work on them and work through them and realize that those problems are who you are, but not forever. They can be in your past. They can build you. The problems that you have, the mistakes that you make are who made you you. You're not going to be perfect with no mistakes, and you're not going to be perfect with problems. If you've got so many problems that you can't function as a person, then you're just going to be unhappy. And the only way to be happy and content with yourself is facing your problems. It's really important to know that it's okay to fuck up, because once you fuck up, you can learn from it. And if you never learn from your mistakes, you're just going to keep making more. I have learned from plenty of my mistakes. And you know what? I learned from other people's mistakes. I see what people go through all the time and I'm like, nope, clearly that's not the right decision. My entire family was into drugs and they got over it and they became happy people. You know, my mother wasn't always great. And I love my mother to death. She is an amazing and strong and independent woman. And you know what? I look up to her so much and she means so much to me. But she wasn't always perfect. You know, a lot of the times when she'd come home, she'd come and yell at me. It's the first thing she'd do. And I'm not saying that that's honestly not my fault, but she's definitely worked on herself a lot, you know. And at that point, yeah, she had 3 jobs. She was just trying to support me. And you know what? I'd steal her money. And so I definitely deserved it. But I've learned to not do that because I know how much it hurt her. And we've become so much happier. And she used to have bipolar disorder, and she got over it. She was able to work on herself to the point where she is stable. She's a stable human being, and she's such a strong person. And I look up to her so much. And I know we don't always have those people to look up on, but set a good role model for yourself. And if it's not your parents, then find somebody that you truly think is good. Not somebody that does what you do, but somebody who does better than you. You know, someone who's in a better mental state, look up to them, work on yourself, get tips from them. Seriously, it helps a lot to have somebody who has a higher mental capacity and has worked on themselves to the point where they've become such a better person from what they used to be. I used to be an asshole, man. I used to be such a bad person in my own standards. And I learned from that bad person. And I've learned from the anger. And I've learned from my mistakes. And I've become an overall better person. Whether people believe that or not, that's not up for them to decide. It's up to you and how you see yourself. Do you think you are worthy enough to die? That's all life is. All life is working on yourself until you are worthy enough to die. Because if you don't die, then you didn't live for anything. You're not living for anything. You know, dying is a privilege because it means that your life was meaningful, that it meant something. And no matter what, you mean something to somebody, no matter what. And don't forget that people love you. No matter how much people say that they dislike you, there is somebody that loves you and you don't even know it. And it's not because you choose to not say it, but people don't really say it out loud. They don't say their feelings out loud anymore. But just know that people do care about you and your actions do influence others. So make the best of it and make the best of the time that you have now. You only have so many years left. You may not even make it till 20. You could die tomorrow at 9 years. 9-year-olds die. They die. They didn't even get to live life. You are lucky to be here and you've made it so far. So just keep pushing. Keep going. Keep working. Keep working on yourself. There's never a problem with becoming a better person and being the bigger person in a situation. It may hurt to be the bigger person, but afterwards you're like, you know what? I didn't lose my dignity. I stood up for myself and I did the right decision. I didn't act out of anger and I didn't act out of just spite. But just keep working on yourself. And again, set a goal. Who do you want to be? You know, we're all young. We may not even know what we want to be, nonetheless, what we are. Figure out who you are. Learn who you are. Find yourself in whatever it is. Find yourself in building Legos, in reading a book, in going for a run. Find yourself in that. In a car ride. Find yourself. What makes you you? What makes you different? What are the things that you enjoy? Because the things that you enjoy, whether it be reading, working out, playing darts, working on cars, find yourself in that and be comfortable with that. I know a lot of people say, well, I find myself in weed. I like smoking weed. It's like you're actually just putting yourself to the side. Being sober is honestly one of the best things ever. It's a privilege. And people don't realize that, you know. Not a day in my life have I smoked or drank. I've never been drunk or high. And it's hard because there's a lot of peer pressuring. I almost tried it, but then I'm like, no, I'm going to regret it. And if you know you're going to regret it, then don't do it. Don't do it because it's only temporary. Focus on the long term. I've got a long-term goal set for myself. All I want to do is to be able to support a family and have a wife, kids, and be able to support them. That's all I want in life. I just want a house and 2 kids and a loving wife. And you know what? That's a realistic goal for me. I have plans set out for how I'm going to reach that. So just make a life goal. Where do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Do you want to be the good person? You should want to be the good person. So be that good person. Be the positive influence. But don't forget, always love yourself. Anyways, that's my 31-minute rant. Peace out. I love you all. God loves you all. Jesus loves you all. I hope you find yourselves. Good night, guys.